I'll let you go first.
I do excel at these. So 50-50. If you're new to the show, we're hoping you're here for the third time. But if you're not, 50-50, we just throw out a topic like a loose ball. Two of us go for it, and the referee is going to decide which will be one of us. The referee will decide if it's either a red card, which is like no go, I don't like it. It will be or not a red card, but it could just be a foul, right? My bad. And then obviously go to the VAR if you don't know. It's just toss up. I don't even know. I'm not gonna make the decision. I'm gonna let the people in the booth make it, which it seems like the referees are doing now more and more. I feel like the VAR is getting paid more than the guys running in the middle of the field. And then if you are okay with it, you just let them play on. Let them play on. So I don't know, Ivan. I don't know if you have the first topic or if you want me to throw it out there. Either way.
I'll let you go first.
Okay, so I'll throw it out first. And this is in your neck of the woods. I know you're living in San Diego, right? You're in SoCal. And I know you probably heard of the basketball incident, the high school basketball incident, where a team, from if I recall right, from Coronado, right? From Coronado, yeah. I think. It was a tight game or whatever. I think they won barely at the end or something. And then fans or somebody was throwing tortillas at the Mexican, I would say, dominant team, right? Or Latino team. We know probably mostly Mexican or Hispanic background. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I did hear about it. I read it. So for people who don't know about the San Diego area, so the team of mostly Latino kids are from Escondido, which is about 45 minutes northeast of San Diego, and it kind of like not in the middle of nowhere, but you start getting away from the city, start going up to the hill, and farmer, definitely looks like a farm working community or the area where people go to work. And then you have Coronado, which is very rich, very bougie. It's a little separate, right off of San Diego, right on the ocean, and it's it seems like it's out of a movie the way this kind of turned out, because it's exactly this very rich, pompous neighborhood that's right attached to San Diego, kids against the kids from just outside who, right. Look out, Latin American kids. And it's just the ignorance and the reading the quotes too, just is very disheartening, because it just shows that we have so much to go. There was like a tortilla throwing. They're bringing tortillas to a basketball game, which is already like blatantly racist. And then they're
wasting food, but that's a different story.
They're throwing it at the kids, right? No matter how contentious a game can be. To do that, you're still throwing tortillas at kids. And then I believe I read the captain of the Coronado team said that it wasn't a race. People are jumping to conclusions that it wasn't, and it's not a racist incident. Well, yeah, it is. You don't know. You can't tell a bunch of Mexican kids or Latino kids or Latino people what is racist. We talked about this earlier, right? You can't tell the group what is or isn't racist, and it just kind of shows against that level of it's a class when you're not in an environment where you're around people, the way you can act and the way how these behaviors are probably not even thought about twice when you surround yourself with people who are similar to you from, whether it's class, whether it's race, combination of both. When you're above that, when you separate yourself from other people like that, you don't know that it's wrong or right because you're so ignorant and you're not around those people that you think that's normal behavior. And it just shows that these are 17-year-olds and their parents. It shows that, this is something that's generational that gets passed down. So for me, that's a no.
Yeah, well, I almost assumed you're going to go with that, with the no, definitely straight red. But yeah, just touching on it quickly. Obviously, people know what to say to offend somebody. Because obviously you could have thrown anything else. And we already know things have been thrown or things have been said, whatever. But it's crazy to see that people know what to say to offend you. So, it's not racist. Like, yeah, but you know what to say, what not. What you can do to offend someone, and you've seen it on video. We've seen it go viral. We've seen it all over the place. I've been part of these situations, not tortillas, but I've been part of these situations where you see this kind of stuff happen, and this happening all over the country. So obviously, like you said, there's a lot of work to do. The other thing is that when you tell people to say, like, let's keep politics out of sports, it's like, well, you kind of have, that is a place for it because things like this happens, right? So let's leave racism out of sports, So if we didn't have racism in sports, then we wouldn't have the need to have people voice their opinion during sports, So that's my thought on that for sure. Yeah. But that's definitely some craziness that that I've lived with and I lived through. So we'll share that another day for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, mine's a little more lighthearted. My 50-50.
Sorry, I started off.
Oh no, you're
Weak.
good, man. You're good. No, I'm glad that we can go through all these different levels of it because
Yeah.
mine, summertime's coming. Um, I- what are you? Are you 50-50? Are you a water park guy?
At my age of 32,
Yeah.
no. At age of
No.
32, I'm definitely not at the water park. But in my teenage years, we are here in Sacramento. We have what used to be called Water World. Now is Raging Waters. Those brands. But it was part of like the Six Flags family. So we had a Six Flags pass, in the Bay Area, and we would go. It would give you like the same the water park thing. So yeah, I mean, I grew up going to the water park a lot. But no, I think at the age 32, I would say no. You're not gonna see me at the water park.
All right.
That's not an age thing. I just think today I'm not going to the water park.
All
I'm
right.
not going.
I feel you. Yeah, I'm a water park guy still.
I think well, my son's 4, so he can't go yet either. So that when he can
Okay.
go, I think where it's like he could just do his thing and play with his friends, and I could probably go find something to do. I'll take him. But right now it's like at the stage where it's like more of a liability of taking him to a water park than having fun.
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
right now he can swim in the inflatable pool in the backyard, which is very safe.
That's fair. Yeah. For everybody out there, I'm pro water park at my age. It's fantastic. I mean, also I don't have a kid to have it with me too to watch too. I just have to be liable for myself, which is hard enough. So
That's funny.
yeah. Do you have
Okay.
50-50?
Well, this is before we do it wrap up, but I wore this in honor of Don Javier Balcazar, Chicharito, so leading scorer for the national team, who's not going to be a Gold Cup. But anyway, that's a different story. He did come to MLS for that, but I guess that wasn't good enough. My last one, Funes Mori is playing with La Selección Mexicana. I know we've had this situation before. What are your thoughts on having, and we talked about it a lot, and it's going to continue to be something. What are your thoughts on players, choosing to play for Mexico, especially like we're talking about players that could probably be just as good as him or not, maybe better than him. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for me, I think it's a case by case, but for me, it's like no, it's a yes, it's a clean tackle for me.
Play on, okay.
They have done what's needed to by the law to be a Mexican citizen. We can't tell people how they feel or how they don't feel about living and making and earning and how they've embraced Mexico or how if they embrace them. You look at Andre Guignac as an example, who looks like he's going to possibly represent France at the Olympics. He's embraced and he's been very open about loving Mexico.
We need him on the Mexican national. That's what we need.
Yeah, you're talking about somebody who's I think he's become a Mexican citizen as well.
Yeah,
it's an individual basis, but you can I think you can see like when someone does care, and we're not the only country who does it. You look, Italy has 2 Brazilians on their team, Jorginho, Emerson, and a team quality of Italy doing this. Spain has players like that. France has a ton of them. Who are we to judge whether they qualify or not qualify if they have the care for it? Wayne, I think you can figure it out by talking to people, and there have been examples that's gone well, examples that haven't gone well for Mexico. But I think for the most part, when you look at somebody like Sina, who played with Mexico, and I think he really cared for it. You look at somebody like Bosso, who'd never had great success with the national team, but he scored some important goals, and he was there.
Yeah.
Guillermo Franco, I think someone similar like that too. So I thankfully for me, I'm open to it.
Yeah,
I think it'd be hypocritical for me personally to criticize someone like that when my parents made a sacrifice for them to come to the United States, and then we embrace part of the American culture as well as our culture in Mexico. So I think it would be some hypocrisy for me from that standpoint to look at others and try to judge them in those regards.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I'm with you on that. One, if they want to play for Mexico, what's the problem, right? That's number one. Number
they're
two,
good enough. They're good enough.
Yeah, they're good enough. Number two, if we turn our back on players, now I say we, but the coaches turn their back on players that are born in Mexico, that are born and raised there, that can't play for Mexico, but end up going to play for Peru because they don't call him like Ormeño, right? Or a Yarbrough, who was one of the best keepers coming up and just kept ignoring him. And then he goes play with USA to get a chance. And obviously he's burned there. But like we turn our back on players that are in Mexico, right? So it's like, who are we to say no? And then another thing is all the coaches that we bring in to coach the Selección Mexicana, they don't trust the Mexican coach to coach the team. So you can have an Argentinian coach, but you can't have an Argentinian player, so let him play.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. And I think on that we'll wrap it up. Uh, Guti, it's fantastic. Again, see you as always every week. Thank you, my brother. Everybody, stay safe. Hug your loved ones. We love you guys. Keep listening. Shout out. Tell your friends about it. We appreciate all you guys.
Yeah, make sure you click on the link. We have episode notes. We're on Twitter, Instagram, football_theory. It's going to be all there. And give us a subscribe. We're on YouTube, and we need more subscriptions. We need people to be listening to it so we can keep going. So, yeah, we appreciate you. Out.
Out. Thank you.